Show some love, man. Today we have Zambia in the house. Show some love for Zambia, man. Yeah. And also we have Swaziland in the house. Show some love, man. Well, you know, we are doing the great debate today. You know, we started our debating thing. We put it on hold for a while. But today we are debating. I have two charming ladies in the house. So we have Chisenga from Zambia. And right across Fanele, and she's from Swaziland. Show some love, man. All right. Now, this is the issue, man. Should entertainers be role models? I am KSM. I'm an entertainer. Is it my duty to be a role model? Or you parents, you take care of your own children? Our parents or entertainers? Anyway, that's what we're going to debate about. And you are speaking for that entertainers should be role models.
Should not be role models.
Should not be role models. And you are saying they should be.
Yes.
Okay, so why do you think entertainers should be role models?
Because society, everybody that's in it plays a specific role. Be it that you're an entertainer, be it that you're a parent, or be it that you're an educator. You can't live in a isolated from society. So if you're an entertainer, you have a role to play in society, entertaining and being responsible, since you are a public figure. Yeah.
So as an entertainer, I should be aware that I'm a public figure?
Yes.
And so
you must then maintain your image so that the kids that look up to you see you both as an entertainer and as a responsible person, because they aspire to be where you are as well.
I see.
Yeah.
What is wrong with what she said?
Well, first of all, she said that an entertainer has a social responsibility, right? And they exist in a society. That is true, but when you look at it, each and every single person is a human being, and they should be allowed to be human, and they should be allowed to enjoy their lives without having to worry about what everybody else is thinking. So
you're saying entertainers, human beings just like everybody?
Yes.
So they should be themselves all the time?
Yes.
And they don't have any responsibility?
No, they don't have any responsibility.
Really? Why?
Why don't they have a responsibility?
Yeah.
Okay, like let's take you for an example.
Yeah.
You come here because this is your job and you love doing it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you do it whether it's for the money or whether it's because you enjoy it. How would you feel if everything that you did was limited by what a 10-year-old Kweku somewhere in Osu is thinking?
It takes a village to raise a child. And that entertainment is part of that village. They don't just live on the stage. They live in the village, right? So that is my argument. It takes a village to raise a child, not just the
private
parents.
lives too? Can't they be what they want to be? Can't I just
because
chill and do what I want to do and not worry about I'm an entertainer?
That's the social contract you sign as soon as you're a public figure,
So
unfortunately.
Are you encouraging people to be pretentious and to pretend to be something that they're not, just for the sake of maintaining this image?
I'm encouraging people to be good people. I'm encouraging them to be good, responsible citizens, not just individuals in their own isolated space. That's what I'm preaching. Because do you want your next child to be on stage wearing inappropriate clothing? Is that what you want for your society? Or do you want to have doctors and lawyers and engineers and entertainers who build up what you already have been part of? Do you want someone who's going to build that up from the next generation, or to bring it down? So how do you do that? You invest in the society by being a responsible citizen and showing that image to young people that this is actually what it's like.
Well, you have a problem with that sometimes you have to pretend to be responsible? They should be whatever they want to be?
People have to live a lie, and they feel so much pressure. This is why a lot of entertainers end up committing suicide. Because it's so much stress that's being applied on them by the society.
Last week.
Yes, and where would the Ghanaian entertainment industry be without you? It would be a complete disaster.
But she's saying though that there's some kind of contract you have signed. You know, I'm in the limelight. People see me all the time, and so they pay extra attention to what I do. So doesn't that put some pressure on me? Legitimate pressure though, to make sure that I'm always making the right moves, or I should just be who I want to be?
I think for young people who are a little bit more impressionable, it's their parents' responsibility to make sure that they control what they have access to and what sort of things are molding them. So you can be who you want to be. If Fanele's daughter is watching you and decides to emulate you, I think that Fanele should take a little bit more responsibility over her own child and not blame him
Fanele is a high-flying entrepreneur who works from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And during those tough hours, Fanele is not at home guarding her daughter to make sure that her daughter is not watching MTV and seeing all kinds of videos. No, Fanele should have the peace of mind that this is where I chose to bring my kids up. I chose it because this is a good society and it will make a good person out of my child. So you cannot leave child raising to just you and your partner as individuals. You cannot do that because you don't live in a world of individuals. You live in a society.
So are you depending on the entertainers to be thinking, well, maybe Fanele is busy, so I should be playing a role here? Is that my business?
I'm advocating for responsibility in every single person. That's what I'm advocating for. Especially if you're an entertainer and you're in the upper echelon of society, you have people looking up to you. I'm advocating for responsibility. You shouldn't be a drug addict and a singer. You shouldn't be a smoker and a president. You know what I mean? It has to be clear, right? If you're a person that is writing the history of a country or society, you should make sure that your contribution adds to the overall glory of the place that you represent, right? Mm. So that's why you are a public figure.
Okay. So you can't be a drug addict and an entertainer. That's what you're saying. You can't do both.
I'm not saying that you can't. I'm saying that you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Do you get what she's saying?
I do get what she's saying, but I think that it's a very idealistic view of the world because people are not perfect and people have issues. And you could be an entertainer, you could be struggling with drugs. Sometimes you can turn around and use the experience that you went through for good, but you still went through that patch while you were in the public eye. So I think maybe you should be a little bit kinder and a little bit gentler on people when it comes to that.
When it comes to okay, basically what I'm hearing is that as an entertainer, you have to understand that you have some social contract. That's what I'm hearing from her. And that obligates you to be very careful what you do, what you say. You say, hey man, I have my life, so. But you agree though that if your child, you don't have any yet, do you?
I don't have any yet, but
okay.
If I
If your child was watching KSM and I'm doing some nasty things, and then you came home and your child was doing those same things, oh, I saw it, the KSM, you know, would you approve of that?
Well, first of all, there are certain measures that are in place. Of course, like she said, you can't always be there and you can't always control exactly what your child is watching. But there are things like parental control, you can have an extra person watching over your child. Then the other aspect is that you can also sit down and talk to your child. Even though your child says, look, I was watching KSM and he was doing this, I can then explain to them and be the parent and say, yes, KSM may have been doing this, but it doesn't mean that you too need to do this because of X, Y, and Z.
Are you going to do that in school? Are you going to do that in school? Are you going to do it in the mall? Are you going to do it in the kumbi? Are you going to control every single environment outside of your home? Are you going to be able to do that? Should you do that?
I believe that the thing about being a good parent is being able to have an open relationship with your child and being able to talk to them about whatever issues that they're facing.
All right, well, show them some love, man. Show them. The debate continues, and I want to hear your views. You know, just follow me on Twitter. My handle is on the screen right now. It's at KSM_Kwekwe_Misa. What do you think? And I'll let you know what the results are. Stick around. Thank you very much for coming. All right, for the great debate. And big up from here. All right, stick around, we'll be right back. I want to start by greeting you in the traditional Ghanaian fashion these days. When you meet a friend, you say, yeah, mama, do so. And then you say, yeah, mama.
I've heard about it.
You've heard about
it? Yeah, mama.
When you hear these things, you know, like this, how do you react to it? Do you feel the people's pain, or you just see their humor? How do you handle it?
Well, Ghanaians have a very good sense of humor, and so you can't take that away from them. I'm just wondering what the greeting will be after I have fixed this load shedding. It will be what? Yamamu Kania.
Yamamu Kania, you.
Yeah,